All right, good evening. We'll go ahead and get started. Renee, please show all board members except for Ms. Kraft here tonight, please. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item on the agenda is board salutes, and Dr. Millen, I think we have several tonight.
Yes, we do. It's always my favorite aspect of any board meeting, and I know that's true for you as well, board. The first salute is the Duke Energy Foundation for their continuous support of the district students and staff. Lisa Huber with Duke Energy, please come forward. Last summer, I'm just going to read. Can you hear me if I speak this loudly? Lisa. Last summer, the Duke Energy Foundation funded a summer remediation program at Spring Hill Elementary in the amount of $15,086 and has committed another $15,647 to fund the program again this summer. The company believes that literacy is a major part of student success, and it affects a student's education in all subject areas. Developing young, successful readers can have an impact beyond the individual student and extend to the community. The foundation also funded $9,240 to offset tuition for staff members participating in the Principal Preparation Program through Marian University. The Academy for Teaching and Learning Leadership is a school leadership program with a focus on clinical supervision, cultural competency, and principles of racial equity, literacy, and statistical analysis, and courage and commitment to transformational leadership. Congratulations to our staff members who participated in this program: Josh Emily, Ashley Emily, Kelly Deere, Delana Snelling, and Matt Fresh, Jill Cyphers, and Brian Stewart. So at this point in time, you're going to award us something when we're trying to just thank you.
Well, this is just the latest grant. I just don't have to touch it.
Yeah, I
do a presentation, but thank you so much.
Lisa. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, please remain standing. Thank you. Yeah, if you might come on up as well, if you don't mind, you guys, please. Okay. Yes, let's come on in behind this check. Guys, you guys get up in front. You guys get up in front.
That's right.
We hold that. Did you get a picture there, Dr. Griffin?
Daniel's doing it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Lisa. We'll take, is that a check we get to keep? Hey, also, we have certificates I know that were provided to you guys, and thank you so much. And also, our Pride program is something that's very important to the culture of our school corporation. And we created a Pride Award that is simple, but yet we think very meaningful because it's given to people who really take pride in helping our school system and benefiting our school system. At least since I've known you and Duke Energy, the foundation, just been great partners to us. And so this is a very small token of our appreciation for everything that you and the Duke Energy Foundation has brought forward to Greater Clark. So if you would please accept this, I appreciate it.
Appreciate our partnership. Thank you.
I may as well stay out front here.
Might as well.
Board, if you don't mind. The board salutes 5 Greater Clark students who were recently recognized in the Business First publication First Honors, which recognizes the achievements of tomorrow's leaders. Congratulations to Charlestown High School's Sarah Rudolph and Riley Biggs. Sarah is a senior with a 3.9 grade point average. She plans to attend Indiana University Southeast, a major in elementary education. Riley is a senior with a 3.4 grade point average. She plans to attend Ball State University and major in musical theater. Congratulations to Jeffersonville High School's Nikolai Wazdovich. Did I get that correct? Yeah. Wow. And Elizabeth Bishop. Nikolai is a junior with a 3.4 GPA, and after graduation plans to attend Indiana University to major in music and business engineering. Elizabeth is a junior with a 3.9 grade point average. She plans to attend Butler University and major in business marketing management. Congratulations to New Washington High School's Haley Todd. Haley is a junior with a 3.9 grade point average, and she plans to major in sports medicine. We want to congratulate all of these first honor students, and if you please would come forward, we greatly appreciate that. Stay right up here, young man. Don't leave me. Stay right here. Elizabeth, congratulations. Absolutely. Amy. Sir.
Thank you.
And Riley, it's good to see you. Great job in the If you don't mind, you guys, we're very blessed to have a lot of great students in our school corporation. And what I love is just the diversity of talent that our students bring to the table. So whether it's academics, whether it's in the arts, or it's in athletics, we have great kids that make us proud every day. And parents of these young people, will you please stand? Parents, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your child's lives. And whatever impact that we can make along the way to help them be successful, we take great pride in. And thank you so much for entrusting your children to our school corporation. So another round of applause for these great. And then we have one more recognition. And Wilson's Grace Lowe, a senior at Jeffersonville High School, who is one of 4 Clark and Floyd County students to receive the generous and well-earned gift of a 4-year scholarship as a Community Foundation of Southern Alabama 2016 Lilly Endowment Community Scholar. In addition to full tuition to the Indiana college or university of her choice, Grace will also receive a $900 stipend for books and equipment. Applications from each county were reviewed and scored by an independent committee of civic volunteers who assessed applicants anonymously from a county other than the one in which the committee members lived. Also, applicants' names were not revealed to committee members. This scholarship is a result of a statewide Lilly Endowment initiative to help Indiana students reach higher levels of education. Locally, students in all accredited public and private high schools in Clark and Floyd counties were invited to apply. Congratulations, Grace Lowe. Well, one thing that we know about Grace, I know Grace and her family a little bit, and she wasn't able to make it tonight, and I know she would have wanted to be here. Grace is yet another example of the kind of outstanding students that we have in our school corporation. And Grace is not only a gifted student, but also gifted in theater And the students just finished performances of Into the Woods.
Did you see it?
And very proud of Grace and her family and appreciate her accomplishments. And so thank you for helping me recognize Grace, and we'll make sure this gets to her. Thank you.
Board members, any comments?
Congratulations to all of you. I know some of the parents and things, and I'm so proud of all of you and what you've accomplished and what Greater Clark has, in cooperation with you, has led you to accomplish. And I know from band parents and some other parents, I know what it takes to back these kids, and Stephen and Alicia. So congratulations to all these kids and to their parents.
All right. Well, we're getting into the boring part of the meeting, and you're certainly welcome to stay the most time you leave. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
She's a doll. Isn't she cute? Yes. This girl. That girl.
Yeah, they're good people. That's why. Stephen and Alicia.
All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes tonight, board? No? Dr. Millen?
No, tonight.
All right.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Zolman. Questions, comments on approval of agenda? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Next is the approval of minutes from previous meeting. We have executive, regular, and special. I'd like to take those together. So moved. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments on approval of previous meetings? All right. All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Dr. Millen, no public comments on agenda items tonight? I don't think.
Not tonight, thanks.
Okay. All right. Next is consent agenda. We have actually we have 5 tonight. We have nothing on travel. So the items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'd like to take those together. So moved. Thank you, Mr. White. Second. And thank you, Mr. Hall. Any questions, comments on consent?
So there's no travel on the consent
No,
tonight?
none submitted. None submitted tonight. All right, all in favor? Be 6-0, thank you. Next is gifts to buildings, and Ms. Gilkey, could you take us through that, please?
Yes, sir. So we have a total of $27,145 and some change that was donated since our last board meeting. As always, our community seems to really embrace what we're doing and support us financially, which is, in these days and times, is a big deal. I specifically would like to point out Hazel and Walter T. Bell's fund. They donated $10,000 to our theater students for their trip to Scotland. Also $1,000 from the Clark County Jail Commissary Fund for our New Washington Chorus. $3,275 from our Pleasant Ridge PTO for Chromebooks. $2,600 from our River Valley PTO for Holiday World End-of-Year Pride Trip. So, of course, all of the donors are important to us, and we thank all of them, but I thought I would point out the larger ones. So at this time, I'll move to accept those donations.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, comments?
Yeah, Dr. Mellon, why would the PTO at Pleasant Ridge have to pay for Chromebooks, or is that above and beyond, one for each student?
Right. Yep. We make sure we provide for all 3rd through 12th graders, as you know. So if they want to if the PTOs want to provide maybe additional Chromebooks, a mobile Chromebook lab, or that is certainly something that they can do. I don't know the specifics of that particular gift, but that happens.
Okay. Further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Moving into action items. Action item number 1, Charleston High School radio television studio change orders, number 1 and 2, and then New Washington Middle High School radio studio change order number 2. Dr. Herrick, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Paving Board. If it's okay, Board, we'll just lump these together. This is exactly the same thing you did at the last meeting with Jeffersonville High School. This is kind of bringing these radio projects to a conclusion. They're listed as a change order, although they're really not a change order. These are the contingency amounts. For Charlestown, we had a $50,000 contingency. We used a little bit of that as we went through the project, but there's $45,953.33 that we did use that needs to go back in. And then at New Washington, there was a $5,000 contingency. We used a little bit of that. There's $4,365.41 that needs to be moved back in. So we would ask your approval of those two, please.
All right, thank you.
Move to approve those change orders.
All right. Ms. Gilkey, and thank you, Mr. White. Questions, comments for Dr.?
Where does the money move back into?
It goes back into the bonds.
To the bonds?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0, thank you. Next is the Indiana University Southeast Nursing Clinical Affiliation Agreement.
Yes, sir. Board, this is, you're familiar with this. It's been approved several years in a row. This is our agreement in working with Indiana University Southeast and the nurses. They will send them over. It's much like student teaching. They work with our nurses and our health aides at various different projects that they do. And then if we need them, sometimes we'll reach out to them for a little bit of extra help as well. It's a great partnership that we've had for a while that we would like to continue. Just for the record, Ms. Lewis has reviewed this agreement. So I would ask for your approval.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Zolman. Questions, comments on the agreement? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got freeze up here. All right, next is the extension of banking services. Dr. Dykle, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, on June 3rd, 2014, the school board awarded the request for proposal for banking services to Your Community Bank with no fees to us, with a guaranteed interest rate of 0.56% interest on all of our bank accounts, including our school extracurricular accounts that bank with Your Community Bank. An option was included in the RFP that if all conditions remain the same, the current agreement could be extended for another 2 years. Your Community Bank is interested in extending our existing agreement for 2 more years with all the conditions remaining the same. So we're asking permission to continue this agreement for 2 more years, and then at the end of that 2-year period, we'll have to go out for an RFP again.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Any questions on the extension of the banking?
Yeah, how many responses do we get back? How many people bid on this? How many banks bid on this?
In 2014, probably 3. I don't think there were more than 3. We didn't send it out this time, we just extended it because we had in the agreement the option to extend it. So there was no RFP this time, Mr. Hall.
So in the background information, you said could be extended, but this says would be extended.
Correct.
Which is it?
Well, it's up to you. If you want to take the extension, it will be extended. We had in the agreement, it could be extended with board approval. So.
Yeah. That's not what it says here.
Okay, whatever you want to do. If you want to extend it for 2 more years,
Okay.
I would love to extend it for 2 more years.
So you've been happy with the dealings with them?
Yes.
I mean, no issues there?
They're very good to work with.
Okay.
Now, I just saw in the paper today that they're merging. So in about 6 months, they'll have a new name. I forgot what it was. Travis, do you know? Travis is on. Turn my back and leave.
They're merging with whom?
I don't remember. It was in Louisville paper this afternoon. It was some company, some bank out east. West Virginia? Yeah. I'll find the article and I'll send it to you.
So level of service, you're not concerned about that if in the event of a merger? I mean, I know this is kind of like breaking news if you just saw it today, but
It should all continue. I don't see any change in it just because they're changing the name. They'll still have all the same number of branches. Our schools still should be able to go there. They're just bringing their footprint in now into southern Indiana and Kentucky. So it's a good move for them to expand their services.
Okay.
And a lot of small banks are being bought up nowadays. So.
All right.
What, the ATM machine at Jeff High, is that through your community bank?
No.
I'm not sure. Travis?
No, I don't, no, it's not through your community bank. It's a separate entity that came forward to the athletic department, I believe, or to the school, and we thought we would do it. As you remember, Board, we asked for a trial basis, and so far, no complaints in that regard, and then a certain percentage of the business that goes through there goes to the school. So it might be something that would be worth, we wanted to really track the utilization to see if it's even worth it, right? But so far, it's been positive. And at the end of the year, I don't know when the contract expires, but we'll be happy to bring that back to you and give you a report on the business and the percentage that's gone back to the schools.
Further questions? All right. All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next is the acceptance of the Duke Energy Remedial Reading Initiative Grant. Dr. Hartledge, good evening.
Good evening. You heard a little bit about this earlier with Ms. Huber in her presentation of her checks. And last year, we were fortunate enough to be the recipient of this. We saw great results with our students at Spring Hill in grades 2 and 3. And it's an opportunity for them to come in every day for 2 weeks for 3 hours a day. We get to conduct very small groups of 5 to 6 and whole group instruction for remediation skills for 3 hours a day. And we are able to provide transportation for them and also feed them twice a day. And we have a partnership with Aramark. They help us to do that. And this really helps to build those foundational reading skills so they can be successful. We work in partnership with the parents throughout this program as well to provide materials and things for them to have for the remainder of the summer so they can come back ready to go and be successful in 3rd grade for the iRead. So we ask that you accept this grant in the amount of $15,647 to fund this program.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. And thank you, Mr. White. Any questions, comments on the grant?
Is this for Spring Hill students only?
It could be opened up to more students than that, but right now we have filled our spots with students from Spring Hill.
Okay.
We invite them, and then if they turn that down, we can certainly open it up to additional students. But predominantly, just because of the logistics and in the summer, we find that families closer to that proximity take advantage of it.
All right, further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Next is the acceptance of the 2016 Advanced Community Foundation Grant.
All right. I work together with Mrs. Stewart, our coordinator of gifted and talented education, and recently you approved for us to have a training here April 19th. We worked with Ball State to provide some gifted programming and support to our 1st grade teachers, and this is an extension of that work. We wrote a grant to the Community Foundation entitled Giving Legs to Literature, which is exactly that. It's really bringing books alive through theater and high levels of engagement. We have actors come in, they work with the teachers, they utilize the books from the high ability grants that they learned about April 19th and help to just extend this and enrich those opportunities a bit more with our students in those grade levels. So we are asking that you approve the amount of $1,875 to fund this programming.
Thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Zolman. Questions on the Community Foundation Grant? Sounds great. Keep bringing money.
And the next thing I would like to share with you is I'm asking...
Let me get a vote here real quick. All right. All in favor? Be 6-0. Okay, now.
Okay, I would like to ask your permission to submit another grant, and this we are very, very excited about. It's the first time we've had the opportunity to do this, and we really are in a perfect situation given the demographic at Parkwood. But the Department of Education is offering through the College and Career Readiness Division a grant to fund a dual language immersion program. And as you know, our students at Parkwood, we already have a demographic of about over 50% Hispanic and predominantly Spanish-speaking. And the purpose of this pilot program is to distribute financial assistance to school corporations or charter schools for the establishment of new DLI, dual language immersion programs, for the introduction of new languages or existing programs that begin in either kindergarten or first grade. And we are looking at putting this in a kindergarten classroom at Parkwood. This money would be funding an instructional model to provide at least 50% of the instruction in English and 50% in Spanish during the day. And so our English-speaking students would have an opportunity for the first time to learn a second language. And then this would continue throughout the grade levels. So in years to come, we would be able to graduate students who are fluent in a second language besides English, who were English-speaking. So this would just be a seed to grow this program. The focus of the immersion program is to help students become proficient in a second language. They would master subject content from other disciplines using second languages or both languages. The research supports that students develop high levels of proficiency in the second language and English. The academic performance of students is at or above grade level, and they demonstrate positive cross-cultural attitudes and behavior, and they will be better prepared for the workforce. The instructional model provides a distinctive 50-50 curriculum in English and a second language that integrates academic content and is aligned to the Indiana academic standards in English language arts and mathematics and all other content areas. A dual language immersion model calls for a student to spend 50% or more of the day learning in the second language and the rest of the day learning in English. Ours would be what they call a two-way immersion program, a program in which a student population consists of both majority English language speakers and minority language speakers, and ours would be Spanish, with dominance in their first language and home language support for this language. There would be a 1-to-1 ratio for the two language groups, but a minimum of 1/3 of each language group is required. So we would like to have your approval to submit this grant. The budget that we've put together is approximately $67,000 and $67,940. We have a teacher already who is fluent in Spanish that is very excited about this opportunity, and they're going to give first preference to schools who have already started this, but we certainly want to take our shot in giving Greater Clark an opportunity to open this up for our community.
All right.
Move the grant permission to apply.
Thank you, Mr.
So I make a motion to grant permission to apply.
All right, thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Questions, comments?
I do have a question. Dr. Hartledge, is it going to be, if we're awarded the grant, would the money fund the program in all of the kindergarten classes at Parkwood, or would it be a kindergarten classroom?
It would be just one to start with, and it would fund the teacher. There's some specific materials that we would have to get to help support that as well. The teacher who has been doing some research and is willing to do this is a fairly young teacher, so it gives us some additional monies to set the classroom up and make sure we have the right support and have that partnership with parents as well. So it would just be one classroom.
And how would it be determined as to which students were in that class?
Well, we feel like it would be very attractive to parents. So most of our classrooms in kindergarten at Parkwood are already set up in this way, so we would just have to have some application processes and parent meetings to make those decisions.
So it'd be a voluntary thing?
It would be.
Okay.
It would be, and we'd see what the interest level is, and then we'd go from there.
Okay.
And if we have a high interest, we would just continue to look at different opportunities to seek monies to support that.
Okay, thank you.
I think it looks like it's a really exciting program. I really like that.
Absolutely.
So is the pilot related strictly to the grant? I mean, if you don't get the grant, then you won't be able to do the pilot, or?
Exactly.
Okay.
At this point, maybe it's something that we can continue. We have already gone and done some visits in some schools within Indiana that they recommended for us to see what it looks like and talk to the principal and look at the continuum of where they started. And perhaps it would be something that we could do anyway, given that demographic that's already there. So it's really a match made in heaven.
Did they give you any ideas on how they funded it initially? I mean, or did they get a grant, I guess?
Well, it was up in Indianapolis, and I'm not certain exactly how they started it, but they are part of this process now.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's been in place for several years, I think, there.
Sounds like something we need to find money to fund if we can't get the grant, so. All right, further questions? All right, all in favor? Be 6-0, thank you. All right, next is the Google Summit MOA, and let's see, oh, Dr. Griffin, okay, I see.
Yes, sir.
Schellenberg, so I guess you had a change in assignments tonight, huh?
Yes, sir. Greater Clark's been asked to host an EduScape Learning Summit, September 15th through 18th, this fall at Charlestown High School. The summit will allow educators from across the state to participate in Google applications for education training and allow for several of our teachers to participate as well. Ms. Lewis has reviewed and approved the MOU, and that we ask that you approve that MOU as well.
Okay. We have a motion?
Move to approve the MOU.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilkey,
Second.
and thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions for Dr. Griffin?
So this is over a weekend. I'm looking at those dates, Thursday to Sunday.
Yes, sir. It begins Thursday, concludes Sunday. Yep.
So we have school on Thursday and Friday, and will there be a factor with, just like how many participants will be?
It states that up to 300 participants could attend. I know we have some rooms reserved specifically for that, so we want to make sure that obviously we keep our school secure as well.
It's sort of an honor to be asked to participate. As you know, Google's been a great partner for us in our school corporation, and to be asked to be part of this, to me, was a positive. And yes, it will be some work and so on, but I also think it's just nice to be recognized as a school corporation that Google wants to partner with us.
All right. Did I ask for a motion? I forgot. Okay. All right, further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. E-learning conference speaker and hotel contracts.
Yes, sir.
You're up.
Greater Clark will host, has been asked to host its 4th e-learning conference on Monday, July 25th at Jeffersonville High School. The following speakers have agreed to serve as spotlight speakers. That's Refrans Davis, Robert Dillon, Amanda Dykes, William Ferreder, Aaron Klein, Kyle Pace, Josh Stumpenhorst, and Amber Tiemann. The Sheridan Riverside Hotel in Jeffersonville has agreed to serve as the host accommodation again this year. No changes have been made to the contract forms that have been used over the last 4 years for this conference.
All right. So moved. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions?
Yeah, Dr. Mellon, could you, that first 3 days of school for Teacher Day, 25th, 26th, 27th, could you refresh my memory on what's going on those 3 days? Is that a requirement for our staff to report on the 25th?
Right, all of our staff, that's their first day for all of our teachers to report, will be on that Monday. So the e-learning conference is something we started this last year, although it was on a Friday last year. So all teachers will report, and they'll all participate in the e-learning conference throughout that day. We'll have our opening day session on Tuesday morning. That will be at Charlestown High School, and that's where we honor and recognize achievements from the previous year and talk a little bit about the upcoming year. Teachers will have time to work in their classrooms for the rest of that day, and then the next day on Wednesday, there'll be building level meetings for staff for about half the day, and then teachers will have the other half of the day to work in their rooms. So we had talked that through a little bit as part of the calendar when we approved the calendar about what days we'd use. Last year we used 4 days before the school year started. This year we're just going to use 3, and then the 4th day is going to be a professional development day in September.
Okay, further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Next is the secondary mathematics textbook adoption.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, thank you. Greater Clark middle and high school math teachers have spent the last several months reviewing textbooks available for new adoption. Adoptions are held on a 6-year rotation. With significant changes in state assessment format, the teachers were looking specifically for resources to support technologically enhanced, rigorous instruction. Each school selects a first and second choice, then points are awarded and totaled at the corporation level to determine the adoption winner. The high school selections were unanimous, and the middle school selections were unanimous in 2 of 3 of the grade levels. So the selected textbooks and publishers have been provided in the board attachment. At this time, we ask that the board approve the requested textbook adoption.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And I think I saw Ms. Zollman first, so Ms. Zollman's got the second. All right. Questions for Dr. Griffin?
Not a question so much as a comment. I'm glad that we're making that progressive move to electronics. Since we have the Chromebooks, it just makes sense that it would be less expensive as well. So, any idea as to when we might be able to make that full transition?
That's a good question. With Chromebooks, I think we are ahead of the curve compared to neighbors, and throughout the state, a one-to-one initiative allows us, I think, to get there. Here would be I'm guessing totally, the next time we adopt math books, we won't adopt math books.
Gotcha. So about 6 years.
I think the one thing that we've tried to do along the way is make sure that when we're looking at resources, textbooks, they have online access capabilities. So whether it's our language arts adoptions or it's our math adoptions or whatnot, we're trying to make sure that we're trying to maximize the utilization of the Chromebook device to access those materials. But we are at a point where we're still in a transitionary phase, but we get a little bit better at that every year.
Yeah, I would think the natural progression would be to go away from hardbacks, but still have a paperback, because you're going to have those days where Wi-Fi's down, internet's down, and a teacher needs resources for the students to still work that day and be productive. Chromebook could be broken, you can't fix it that day, so you got to have those resources available. I don't think at any time we should go totally bookless, paperless.
I could see us having classroom sets available for teachers.
That's what it says here in but it doesn't show we're going to get classroom sets for the 6, 7, and 8. Are those going to be hard? Are they all going to get hard back copies, or?
My assumption is that every student will be charged a rental fee and be given a book But I'll double check that.
It's 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then statistics and your honors pre-calc. Doesn't say anything about a classroom set, but I agree with Tony,
I got you.
when things are down, you need something.
Right. Yeah, I think the focus is on trying to get classroom sets
Yes.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And not invest in a book for every student, but have classroom sets for them. But again, that's
7 and 8.
accompanied with the online access capability so that students who are going home and able to work and access that information online. So that's part of this transitionary phase where we can, trying to get that hardback classroom set that stays in the classroom at all times. And sometimes a student's Chromebook may not be working or whatever the issue might be, so that way we have that backup.
Further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0, thank you. And last item is the YMCA Power Scholars Summer Academy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Greater Clark and the Y have worked together to offer a unique and enriching opportunity for our middle school students this summer. The YMCA Power Scholars Academy is a 5-week summer program that helps to increase academic success and boost self-confidence while also engaging families in the educational process. The summer learning program is designed to ensure scholars do not lose academic skills over the summer, what we may consider the summer slide for a lot of kiddos, as well as enhance overall social and emotional development, academic performance, and ultimately graduation rates, our ultimate goal. We've been working with the YMCA to try to finalize some details to present to you. Very excited about this opportunity for our students, so we ask that you support our endeavor with the YMCA Summer Scholars, Power Scholars Summer Program.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions on the Scholars Academy, Summer Academy? All right, I appreciate the clarification on the participants.
Yes, sir.
So, today.
You're welcome.
So how is this paid for? The $12,000 to pay for this? Is that through a grant, or is that summer program fees, or?
What we did is, I know one of the things that we did, we didn't have a spring intercession. We had dollars in our budget to hold the spring intercession, which because of weather we weren't able to do. So some of those dollars are coming from those monies that were already budgeted. I don't know.
And also the summer school that we were going to offer, summer school for, I think, hire 19 teachers to high school, middle school, elementary. We're going to use, in lieu of that, instead of that, we're going to do this program. So that money that we would use for that summer school program would be used here for the middle school. And then the YMCA they have a grant that will be, that they'll be using that I think equates to about $30,000.
I think our cost is about $12,000 would be our cost for teachers and paras. And I think normally we budget for intercession about $75,000, Dr. Dykel, so we had those dollars that we didn't have to use in the spring, so we're using $12,000 of those dollars.
Yeah, I think this is a great looking program, and I think we should keep an eye on it. If it's somewhat successful, we should look at Parkview and Charlestown Middle School, because these kids at this grade level are the ones that really we take a hit on with test scores.
And let me clarify that. That's a good point, Mr. Hall. This is for all Greater Clark Middle School students. So Charlestown, New Wash, we're housing it at River Valley, but it'll be open to all Greater Clark Middle School incoming 7th and 8th grade. So our current 6th and 7th grade students we're targeting, that will be 7th and 8th grade.
I'm sorry, and River Valley was chosen simply because it was the closest to the Y, because part of it is students will be transported at times to the Y from River Valley Middle School. So
yes, sir. Fridays they'll have every Friday's a field trip from from 8 to 3 they'll be at River Valley, 8 to 11 is academically focused. They'll have lunch, 11 to 12, 12 to 3, activities that will include the use of the River Valley Pool. And then from 3 to 6, we will be offering YMCA after-camp care for parents, and that'll be just $10 a week. That's the only charge. There's no charge outside of from the 8 to 3 at all, but if you would like to use, so a working parent that would like their child to stay until 6, they'll transport them to the YMCA from 3 to 6.
So that brings me to two new questions that transportation is on the parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the 3 to 6 after-school care, after-camp care cost, is that part of the grant, or is that going to be imposed by the parents?
That will be, are you saying the $10 that is being charged to the parent? That's what the YMCA
For the 3 to 6?
choose it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. And the YMCA is providing transportation
Okay.
from River Valley to the Y.
Okay.
I see a spot for, was it 60?
60.
Yes, we
60?
have, that's our goal. We're shooting for
You
60.
Think we'll get that, or do you think it'll be more
Well,
than that? or-
I've spoken to the principals, and we've already started to kind of target the students that we wanted to target, and then, obviously, as I'd mentioned to you,
Right.
we will open that up. If we don't reach 60, we'll reach 60 one way or another.
Yeah, okay. And
It seems like a great opportunity for students that would be a fun, enriching
Sure, sure.
opportunity.
Sounds like a great program. All right, further questions? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Thank you. Next on the agenda is reports and requests. Do we have any of those tonight, Board? No? All right, we have public comments on non-agenda items. I think we have just one tonight, Mr. Hartman. Oh, good evening. And Mr. Hartman, I don't know if you addressed the board or not, but we have a 3-minute limit, so...
Yes, sir. I'll be quick. I'll be brief.
All right.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to Dr. Mellon and the board. The reason I'm here tonight, folks, is I want to just bring some awareness to you folks about a transportation situation you've got working in the school system. This year, the contract bus drivers are some of them are being eliminated because of other reasons that I'm not aware of, but our contracts have not been extended or put up for bids. We've got contract drivers in the school system that have been running these routes for 30 and 40 years in the families. Okay? Parents, grandparents rode buses that their kids are riding. So it's an important part of the situation because those are guarantees. Okay? Those buses are going to run every day. If we call in sick, if one of us gets sick, then we arrange for the bus to be covered. Every morning on the radio, we hear scrambling for getting this route covered, this route covered. The transportation department is using office staff. They're using mechanics. Mechanics are trying to troubleshoot what's going wrong with these other buses while they're trying to transport students. When you are driving a school bus, you got to focus on those kids, okay? It's an accident waiting to happen because a kid's going to do something, step out in front of a bus, not going to be seen, going to get hit, okay? So that's a problem. But right now, they can't cover what they have. They're talking about pulling between 6 and 9 routes from the contractors. So that's 6 to 9 more buses that you're going to have to pay for and people that you're going to have to pay, and you can't get enough people to drive your buses. Watch the news across the river. There are 50 bus drivers short every day. Okay, we're not as big as them, but we still got a situation. Like I say, every morning you hear the bus on the bus radio, you hear scrambling, trying to get these routes covered. Okay. Also, in conversation with the transportation department, we're in getting ready to have a great growth spurt in Clark County due to the Amazon, due to the new bridges. There's a new subdivision going in Utica that is a proposed 32-home subdivision. They were not aware of that. There are 3 to 4 new subdivisions slated and in construction around the Amazon plants now. Okay, you cut bus routes out, how many years is it going to take to put it all back together? Why do you want to cut back and in 2 to 3 years have to expand it out again? There's overcrowding issues on the buses because they're trying to consolidate routes because they don't have enough drivers to cover what they've got. So then on the radio you hear, I've got students sitting in the aisles, I've got students standing in the aisles. The last comment I heard was, pull over, figure it out. The buses, average bus holds 66 students, there's 22 seats, that's 3 students to a seat. Well, grade schoolers, you can put 3 in a bus seat. But when you get to middle and high school, you can't put that many in seats. So there's a situation there. And so they're not taking care of what they've got. We've got a large growth spurt getting ready to happen in this area. And then right before this meeting, I got hold of some information, and I don't know why, when, where, but there was a private meeting with Dr. Mellon and Dave Rohrig and 3 contract drivers last night. The rest of us contract drivers were not made aware of the meeting. Out of that meeting, we were told no contracts are going to be offered. Now they're telling us there's going to be 3 offered. Which 3 do you think that's be? 3 that the drivers were there. So I just want to let you folks know that, make sure you're aware of what's going on within your transportation department. Okay. It's a dangerous situation because somebody's going to get hurt. Because you can't drive a bus and worry about what something else is going on over here. You've got enough to worry about with what's on your bus and what's in front of you. Okay?
We appreciate you. We appreciate it very much. Yes, sir. And we normally what we do, sir, is we take all that under advisement as the board, and then we'll discuss it back with the administration. So thank you for sharing your comments tonight. All right, we're down to board comments. Mr. White? Ms. Perkins?
Well, I had the opportunity to go see Into the Woods, Jeff High's musical on Sunday, and it was just, everyone gets better. I can't believe those are students up there on the stage, but they're incredible, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Ullman?
I just want to say this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I don't know that we have any teachers here, but if you're out and about and see teachers, I hope you can give them the support and appreciation because they deserve it every day. That's their everyday job, so they deserve it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hall?
I know we still have several contracts that we're negotiating with some of our laborers in Greater Clark, and I'd like to see us settle those as soon as possible. Thank you.
Nothing? Ms. Gildy? Nothing for me. Dr. Mellon?
Just a couple things, Board. First of all, our Pride program is getting some recognition at the state level, and I think it's quite an honor for our school corporation. The Department of Workforce Development is looking at the Pride program possibly being offered in other school corporations and communities around the state of Indiana. Just got a phone call today from them, and that's a tribute to all of our staff, all of our community members. Pride has been something that has been highly successful throughout our community, and I think other entities around the state are seeing that as well. And so I think that's a positive and a tribute to all of our people, and just wanted to recognize that. I was also going to mention our Fine Arts program, not just at Jeff High School, but at Charlestown High School. And you look at these kids and the level of talent. Riley Biggs was here from Charlestown High School this evening, and she's going to pursue that as a career opportunity and at the college level. And so we're just so fortunate to have, sometimes athletics gets so much recognition, and that's fine, but it's also nice to see kids academically and from a fine arts perspective also being recognized for their achievements, and we're pretty lucky to have some great talent there. And then Teacher Appreciation Week, I know that we tried to show our level of small token of appreciation by providing a thumb drive to every teacher. They're in the process of transitioning from an older computer system to newer computers around our district, so we thought it would be something that would be very usable as they're trying to transition their information from one computer to the next. And so we wish that we could do more, but we're very fortunate to have such a great group of teachers and in our district that care so much about their students. So just wanted to make you aware that we're trying to do a little something to show our appreciation.
Thank you, Dr. Mellon. Next item's adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
And thank you, Ms. Zalman. All in favor? All right, good night.